Hello students, welcome back to the biology class. So far we have understood that there are two types of leaf possibles in plant, simple leaves as well as compound leaves. We have understood that the simple leaves are those in which the lamina is single, or if it is divided, it is undivided with the help of incisions. That means if incisions occur, they will never touch the midrib, or they will never touch the point of origin, that means the tip of the petiole. So such type of leaves where lamina remains smooth, it is called as the entire type of leaf, entire simple leaf. And if it is incised, it may incise in pinnate manner or otherwise in the palmate manner. And we learned according to the degree of incision, it can be up to 50%. That means below 50% or equal to 50% or more than 50% or almost reaching 100% incision. So accordingly they are called as pinnatifid or palmatifid, pinnatipatite or palmatipatite, and pinnatisect and palmatisect. These were the things we learned in the last class. We understood that the simple leaf is quite different from the compound leaf, because in the compound leaf incisions are so prominent that they will touch the tip of the petiole in the case of palmate type, or will touch the midrib in the case of pinnate type, and finally there will be lobes visible, and the lobes are called as pinnae, and then the midrib now would be called as the rachis. So we learned that compound leaves have leaflets or pinnae, and now the midrib is referred to as rachis. And according to the attachment of the leaflets, compound leaves can be of two types, pinnate or palmate. If they attach at the tip of the petiole, they are called as palmate. If they attach to the rachis, or you can say the axis, or you can say the midrib of the simple leaf, then you start calling it as the pinnate. And then if the rachis is unbranched, then it is called as unipinnate, and such type of leaflets would be called as pinnae. And if the rachis is branched, then the rachis would be, these branches of the rachis would be called as racule. Remember, the main one would always be called as rachis, and the branches would be called as racule. And then the pinna is modified into pinnules. And accordingly they are of three types. If there are two times branching, one time branching, it is called as bipinnate. If there are two times branching, tripinnate, and then more than that, it would be called as a decompound type of pinnate leaf. We even learned that if the even number of leaflets are there, it is called as peripinnate. If odd number leaflet is also present at the tip, it is called as the imperipinnate type of pinnate leaf. We understood some of the examples also. And in the last class we started the topic of leaf modification. So how leaf can modify into different things. So we understood that leaf may modify into tendrils, and if tendrils are there, tendrils can develop from various portions of leaf, or tendrils may develop from the complete leaf. So accordingly the whole leaf may modify into tendril. Example, the wild pea. It is possible, like in the case of the Pisum sativum or the pea plant, that leaflets, the tip leaflets may modify into tendril. It is even possible, like in the case of Nepenthes pitcher plant or the garden Nasturtium tripiolium, that petiole may modify into tendril. It is even possible petiolule, that means the smaller one, and the rachis may modify into tendril, like in the case of the Clematis. And the leaf apex may modify into tendril in the case of the glory lily, and stipules in the case of Smilex. The stipule may change into tendril. So various portions of the leaf, or maybe the complete leaf, can modify into tendril, and the function of tendril is same in all these various origins of modification, that they are for helping the plant to climb up, because such plants have an erect stem, but the stem does not have the strength to rise up on its own. So tendril help in climbing up. We understood in the last class that leaf may even modify into spines, like in the case of the xerophytic plants. So it is possible the complete leaf may modify into spine, or maybe some portions of leaf may modify into spine. Like in the case of opuntia or cactus, the complete leaf modifies into spine. But when we talk about prickly poppy, scientific name Argemone mexicana, you will find that the margins and the tip only modify into spines. If you look at the aloe vera leaf also, tip and margins modify into spiny structure. So in the same manner, even hooks may develop, and hooks are present in many plants which help in climbing the plant up. So such stems are weak, so they need support. So hooks may help a plant to climb up. And then we understood a new concept which was parallel to the phylloclade and cladode, and the concept is phyllodes. Phyllodes occurs according to NCERT. The example given is Australian acacia. So Australian acacia species are Acacia longifolia, Acacia recurva, and Acacia auriculiformis. These names would be there in your notes. So in these plants, what exactly happen is, because the condition in the Australian continent is dry, because these plants grow in drier condition, so they need to conserve as much water as possible. That's why in these plants what exactly happen is that the lamina is reduced to minimum size, or it is even possible the complete lamina is absent. So only the midrib is left, or you can say the rachis is left along with the petiole. So rachis and petiole start photosynthesis, and because these portions are devoid of stomata, so loss of water is stopped. That's why it is a modification in the xerophytic plants growing in Australia. Such petioles are called as phyllodes, and they help to reduce water loss through transpiration. There are some plants which are growing even in your Palwal city also, on the highway between the dividers, and that plant is called as Parkinsonia, with yellow color flower bloom. It blooms in the summer season. This plant grows there a lot in the Palwal city. You will find this plant there on the roads, and this plant is also an example of phyllodes.